When the HOA president tried to evict him, she had no idea she was walking into her own nightmare. Jordan Whitaker had always dreamed of owning a home in a peaceful, upscale neighborhood. After years of grinding, he finally made it happen. The house, a beautiful two-story brick home in Maplewood Heights, Tennessee, sat on a perfectly manicured lot with a wraparound porch and a spacious backyard. It was everything he had pictured: peaceful, elegant, and the ideal place to settle down. But from day one, something felt off. Moving boxes still cluttered the driveway when Jordan noticed the stairs, curtains twitching, neighbors pausing a beat too long as they walked their dogs, watching for porches. No one came over. No warm welcomes. Just cold silence. At first, Jordan shrugged it off. Maybe folks here just kept to themselves. Maybe they'd warm up with time. The first sign that wouldn't happen came the next morning. Jordan had just poured himself a cup of coffee when a sharp knock echoed through the house. At the door stood a woman in her mid-60s, dressed in a crisp beige blouse, pearl earrings, and a cardigan pinned with a small gold emblem. Maplewood Heights HOA. Her posture was stiff, her smile thin. "Good morning," she said, her tone clipped. "I'm Carol Vickers, president of the Maplewood Heights Homeowners Association." Jordan extended a hand. "Nice to meet you. I know who you are," she cut in, eyes darting past him into the house. She handed him a thick packet of papers. HOA guidelines. Jordan flipped through them. Lawn care rules, mailbox specs, approved exterior paint colors. The usual. But Carol cleared her throat. "We maintain certain standards here," she said, her gaze flicking toward the moving truck still idling in the driveway. "That'll need to be gone by tonight." Jordan arched a brow. "It'll be gone when I finish unpacking." She nodded, more of a mental note than agreement. "Good. And just so you know, trash bins shouldn't go out before 6 a.m. on collection day. I noticed yours were out last night." Jordan frowned. "I didn't put them out. Must have been the previous owners." Carol pursed her lips. "Be mindful in the future. We have rules for a reason." And with that, she turned and left. Jordan exhaled. Maybe she was just particular. A lot of HOA presidents were. But it didn't stop there. A warning notice landed in his mailbox the next morning. Unauthorized vehicle parked in the driveway. His own car. 2 days later, another violation, lawn too long. His grass had grown maybe an inch. By week's end, Jordan had a tidy stack of notices, each signed by Carol Vickers. The message was loud and clear. She was watching him. Jordan tried to play it cool, follow the rules. But it didn't matter. The notices kept coming. His porch light was too bright. His mailbox was an inch too close to the curb. Every morning brought a fresh complaint. Then came the kicker. Jordan received a formal letter demanding proof of homeownership. Carol appeared on his porch again, holding a clipboard like a sword. "We've had complaints," she said, voice syrupy but sharp. Neighbors noticed unusual activity. Deliveries at odd hours. Different cars coming and going. It raises concerns about whether you're renting this property in violation of HOA rules. Jordan's jaw tightened. "I own this house. Then it should be simple to provide proof. Pull the record yourself. It's public." Carol's smile didn't reach her eyes. "We prefer direct submissions." He didn't take the bait. "I'll think about it." He closed the door on her forced grin. But Carol wasn't done. 2 days later, he got another violation. Porch furniture non-compliant with HOA aesthetic standards. 2 wicker chairs and a small glass table. Nothing offensive. Jordan had had enough. He started documenting everything. Neighbors with trash bins out for days, overgrown lawns, broken shutters. He submitted his own stack of complaints, complete with photos. Carol showed up on his driveway again, this time with Mark Dempsey, HOA vice president. "We appreciate your attention to community standards." Mark began, clearly uncomfortable, but you only find me?" Jordan cut in. Carol's jaw clenched. "Your violations are more prominent." Jordan raised an eyebrow. "Or maybe you just have a problem with me." The silence that followed spoke louder than anything they could have said. But Carol wasn't backing down. Days later, Jordan received a letter from a law firm, official complaint filed with the county, accusing him of being a fraudulent occupant. She wasn't just after fines now. She wanted him out. But Carol had made one fatal mistake. She underestimated who she was dealing with. Jordan called his real estate attorney, Andrea Flores, sharp, relentless, and not one to play nice. 3 days later, the HOA's emergency board meeting was standing room only. Carol sat at the head of the table, flanked by board members. She looked calm, but Jordan could see the tightness in her jaw. "We're here to discuss ongoing violations concerning Mr. Whitaker," Carol began. Jordan stood, pulling out a folder. "I'd like to speak first." She scowled but waved him on. "This," Jordan said, holding up a deed, "is legal proof I own my house." He dropped it on the table with a satisfying smack. "But that's not all." He pulled out another deed. "This is for 813 Brookside Lane." A flicker of confusion crossed Carol's face. "And this," he held up the last document, letting the weight of the moment settle, "is for 815 Brookside Lane." Carol's house. The room gasped. "I bought last month," Jordan added. "Foreclosure sale. Guess you didn't read the fine print." Carol's face went pale. The power she had lorded over him for weeks evaporated in a heartbeat. "Let's talk about fraudulent eviction attempts," Jordan continued. "You filed a legal complaint against me with zero evidence." Carol tried to recover. "Residents had concerns." "Ooh, I can't disclose." "Because they don't exist," Jordan shot back. The room was silent. Then someone in the back chuckled. "You tried to evict the man who owns your house." Laughter rippled through the crowd. Jordan wasn't done. "You're also $3,000 behind on HOA fees. I inherited that debt when I bought your house." Even the board members winced. Carol's face was red now, her composure crumbling. Stephen Dempsey, the HOA vice president, cleared his throat. "By majority vote, Carol Vickers is officially removed as HOA president, effective immediately." Carol stormed out, the room buzzing behind her. But she wasn't finished. The next morning, she was on Jordan's driveway, this time with her husband, Alan, in tow. "I want to discuss the sale of my home," she said stiffly. Jordan crossed his arms. "Not for sale. I've lived there 30 years. And let it go into foreclosure." Alan stepped in, trying to broker peace. "We can offer what you pay at auction." Jordan laughed. "It's worth double that." "Don't be unreasonable," Carol hissed. "No," Jordan shot back. "I'm treating you exactly how you treated me." Carol's hands balled into fists. "You're enjoying this." Jordan didn't deny it. "Consider it justice." Weeks later, a for sale sign went up in Carol's old yard. She and Alan moved out in the dead of night, leaving behind a reputation in ruins. The neighborhood changed after that. The HOA actually started working. Neighbors who had once looked the other way now offered nods, even smiles. One day, a neighbor, Helen Sanders, brought over a plate of cookies. "Late, I know," she said sheepishly, "but welcome to the neighborhood." Jordan grinned. Better late than never. And as he stood on his porch, looking out at Maplewood Heights, he realized something. Sometimes, the real fight isn't about rules or property lines. It's about standing your ground when someone tries to take it from you.